Now it is with the facelift if you were to choose the Verna 1.0 turbo. The 1.5 litre variants get this familiar black and beige treatment. It's always been a Verna favorite, continues to be in this car as well. We are already used to seeing what it looks like. What is new though is the dashboard layout, slightly new. So you get this new infotainment system which now sticks out of the dash, more in line with your line of visibility, so you don't have to take your eyes too far off the road. It is 8 inch in size, touchscreen infotainment, gets Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, mated to the RKM's audio. You also get BlueLink connected tech now. You also get the SOS and emergency services which are accessible through hotkeys directly on the inside rearview mirror. Again, a very easy system, a very nice system to have, and a good part of the safety kit for this car. Now there's a new 1.5 litre petrol engine under the hood which replaces the 1.6. It is marginally lower in power and torque and a shade slower in the outright acceleration. But it still feels rev happy, it still feels punchy, it still feels eager to deliver that punch. And the happy zone for this engine is between 2500 to 5000 RPM. Beyond about 5500 RPM, the power starts to taper off. But between that zone, there is a nice punch to it. So whether you're pulling overtakes or simply driving around in the city, it feels nice. Interestingly, with a 6-speed manual transmission, its outright acceleration is actually quicker than that of the turbo variant, the Turbo 1.0. And because it's a 4-cylinder configuration, it also sounds good while doing that. The 6-speed manual has a light clutch pedal and precise throws, and driving the car in the city or cruising on the highway is as convenient and comfortable as before. The engine also feels noticeably more refined and has better fuel economy figures to boast of. Its BS6 tune also ensures cleaner emissions. Now, with the 2017 model, we were quite impressed with the suspension behavior, the supple ride quality, the steering feedback that it got thanks to the new Elantra platform. All of that continues to still do good for the Verna even in the face of the improved competition. But I really wished that it got the 4-disc brake setup that you now have with the Verna 1.0 turbo. That really gave that car nice sharp braking manners, and that's something that even the 1.5 variants could do with. In fact, the Verna is still one of the most premium offerings in the space, and that is complemented by its finely tuned mechanicals, a really good looking cabin, and the new set of features that this update brings along. Whether you're looking for a premium urban runabout or an enthusiast driving tool, the Verna will continue to appeal to both set of buyers.
Now, the Verna has always been a very popular choice in the Indian market, but let's not forget the competition is not far behind. Let me just bring Bert and Rohit on the show. Hi, guys.
Hello. Unfortunately, I can't hear you guys.
Okay, we can hear you, Bert. Rohit, can you hear Bert?
Sohini, I'm unable to hear you.
I can.
There is some glitch in this, but I'm not sure what. But I'm unable to hear you guys, despite having had a conversation with you just a few minutes ago.
But I think you'll have to sign out and sign in.
Give me a second to figure this out.
We can hear you clearly, Bert.
All right, Rohit, first, I'd like to ask you that a lot of people have been asking us. A lot of people have been asking us about the Honda City, and Rohit, you've already driven it. So I know that it's embargoed for a couple of days further. So what can you tell us about it?
Right. In fact, my lips are zipped right now. I can't talk much about the Honda City at least until the 30th of this month. Whatever Honda wanted to talk about, that info is already out on the website. So we know that the dimensions are longer for the new City. We know that it has 2 engine options as always. There's a petrol and a diesel. So diesel continues even in the BS6 era, and we have an all-new petrol engine. So those are the only things that I can talk about. Now, our engine options are slightly different tuning and all of that compared to the Thailand model. That's all that I can tell you right now. But the dimensions confirm that it's the same chassis as the Thailand model. So expect a lot out there. I can't talk anything more than that right now, but 30th is when the review comes out. But the good news is we have driven all the variants. So do stay tuned for that review, because we will be talking about all the variants, not one variant in particular, but everything that the Honda City has to offer. We'll be talking about all the variants. So yeah, 30th of this month is when it will be out, 11 a.m. So save the date, save the time, and we'll have a video review out on YouTube, and we'll also have the text review out on overdrive.in.
So I think I should apologize to Shahnawaz Kareem. No, sorry. I have to apologize to Mahavir Singh because he's asked about the Honda City versus the Verna. I have to also apologize to Nitin Joshua. There's not much that we can add, just like Rohit said. And Aniket Patel also wanted to know something about the seats, so we can't really this. Let's give Bert a try. Bert, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Ah, great. Okay.
Sorry about that. I had some glitch with the audio. I just shifted devices, but yeah, we're back live again. I'm back live again.
Right. Manish Anand also has once again asked us about the City versus Verna. Just like Rohit said, we can't really tell you much about it right now, but that will be answered shortly in a couple of days.
Yeah, we just got an embargo that we can't break at this point in time. So unfortunately, everything, all our opinions and reviews are embargoed till then. But it's not too far away. Just a few more days more, and you can read about it. But just as this thing, you can also pick out the magazine. This will be available to newsstands this month. So you can read about the Honda City in there. You can also read about the Honda City, new Honda City. Get you the Honda City in a special story, because keep in mind we also got other segment cars in this issue. So there is something that we've got for you over there as well. That's the Verna and the Rapid, new Hyundai Verna and the Skoda Rapid. So yeah, keep an eye out. All of this will be there in the issue, will be there on the website. See how we treated that.
All right. Actually, we do have a question regarding the Verna versus Rapid. The story is already out, but Mahesh Muthukrishnan wanted to know about it.
Right. So, Mahesh, the story, the text format story is already out on the overdrive.in website. So do check it out. You will get a very good idea of where the two cars stand. And a video review will be out next week. Again, just after the Honda City's review is out, we'll also have the comparative review out for you. But for now, if you don't mind spending some time reading, definitely do give it a read. Our colleague Simran Rastogi has penned down his words and his thoughts about the two cars. So definitely do take a look on Overdrive.
In fact, while we're talking about Hyundai, the BS6 model, the diesel Elantra is out as well. It has been priced at 18.70 lakh rupees ex-showroom. But moving on, there's some very exciting news coming in for Apple users. I know, Rohit, you're a big fan. You're a die-hard Apple user. Bert and I are Android people. But this is quite exciting news coming in that iPhone users very soon will be able to use the CarKey app on the iOS software to unlock and start their car. Not just any car. In fact, the first car to get this feature will be the 2021 BMW 5 Series. Bert, your thoughts?
Well, that's the way the technology is rolling. You just have to go along with it. I mean, there's not much to think about over here. Just accept it and move on.
And Rohit, what do you have to say about it, considering that this is an interesting...
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because the last couple of years, especially at the CES, a lot of small startups, a lot of manufacturers have been talking about this. Now, keyless entry and go is something that started creating headlines about a decade ago in a lot of cars. And now this is the next thing. You may not require a key at all. The key will be your phone. And in fact, Apple is, in a way, the first to the market to do this. So they have opened up the API as a part of their new software package. And this is something that, just like CarPlay, a lot of manufacturers will be able to implement. We saw that BMW was, again, one of the first adopters for CarPlay as well. And now, literally, everything, even an entry-level Maruti Suzuki, can be had with Apple CarPlay. That is how easy the technology is to integrate when a big manufacturer like Apple or even Google would make it very easy for everyone to implement. And that's exactly what has happened. And we have it with the 5 Series right now. There's a demo video, I think, that BMW and Apple have also released.
We've also seen it, the application came in about 5 years ago when the newer version of Transporter came out. You remember the first opening scene where he activates the car, and there was a BMW there. There was a Audi, there was an Audi there, and he activated using essentially the same application through your smartphone.
And it's something that most of us have also sort of used, because now you're talking about connected tech. You have it in a sub-4 meter car like the Venue as well. So it allows you to immobilize your car remotely. The same way it can also allow you to unlock the car if required with the connected tech. So it's literally not big news, But now with Apple doing this, I think it will just become a lot more easier for a lot of car makers to implement, and it will also be more secure because now you'll not have to rely on a particular app developed by your car maker. You are now relying on your own phone, your own device, and an application or a software that is developed by Apple. So security-wise, you can hopefully rest assured.
So, by the way, I think this segment of ours is getting to be pretty popular, and I think we're going to continue doing this very strongly every weekend on the Friday evenings. And that's also, I also see that because I can see our first troll sending out questions, sending out remarks on our live comments. So, guys,
I saw that too, which is why I think we should take a couple of questions as well.
Has been trolling us, but yeah, thank you for that, Rohit. If you're listening on, thank you for that.
We appreciate these
if you do
comments
have
as
a serious
well.
question, we will definitely answer it for you.
There's a question coming in from Manish Anand as well. Do you have bucket seats in the Verna?
Rohit has driven the Verna and the city as well.
Well, it all depends on what you would define as bucket seats. For me, bucket seats would be something that I see in a race car. Anything that is of a similar shape, I don't want to call them bucket seats. But yeah, if that is what you're referring to, as always, whatever seats you got with the previous Verna is what you continue to get with the new Verna. And there is a ventilated function also, which I love about the seats.
All right,
Yeah,
Prateek
at the end of the day, so you get bucket seats only in the front. Keep that in mind, not for the rear.
Only in the front, yes, not in the rear.
It's not an MPV where, like the Kia Carnival, where you get bucket seats all around. You have that option. This is a sedan, so only the front driver and passenger seats are bucket seats. There's another question. Jude Martin, I think it's relevant to take this over here as well, has asked us how will the increase in fuel price affect the automobile industry? It's a very tricky time, Jude, because the way fuel prices are going, yes, it's been rising day by day for the last 20 days. We've seen an increase in fuel prices. The hikes have happened consistently, and this is going to affect people adversely, consumers adversely. However, we are also in a time of pandemic with the lockdowns and all of the regulations and guidelines that have been put into place, and the fear that exists in people's minds at this point in time with the virus. People want personal mobility solutions, so they are going out and they are buying cars. We just got the news today about how Hyundai has sold over 100,000 units of the Venue in just about a year, which also goes to show that people are buying more small cars, compact cars, sub 4-meter SUVs, sedans, or even hatchbacks and minis for that matter. This is where a large part of attention is going to be devoted over the next, I believe, at least a year. At this point in time, yes, it's a very tricky situation because you need the car to move around, to get about and do your job. But at the same time, fuel prices are increasing. It's not the most affordable option. Delhi effectively is going to take a big hit where diesel car sales are concerned because diesel's gone more expensive than petrol. And this is the case globally as well. Keep in mind, in most European nations, diesel is also more expensive than petrol, historically. So this is coming in play. This is coming into effect in India as well. So these changes, nonetheless, will affect buyer decisions, consumer decisions. We might see a drop, but not anytime soon. If a drop in sales come in because of rising fuel prices, that will only happen probably a year from now when things are far better where the lockdown and the virus is concerned.
Okay, I'll just go back once again to our questions regarding the Hyundai. Nitin Joshua also wants to know why the Verna DCT is slower and less efficient than the 1.5-liter manual. Rohit?
Yes, I was expecting this question. In fact, that's a question that even we had when we tested both the cars back to back. And yes, surprisingly, the 1.5 is better in terms of the acceleration as well as the fuel economy, and that is down to the gearbox. Now, the DCT gearbox doesn't let you launch the way you would ideally want to launch the car for a proper 0 to 100 run, the way we do it. The revs drop quite a bit and then they start climbing up again. Even if you were to rev slightly higher and then launch at a particular RPM, there's still a bit of a drop before it starts catching on. And that is where the Verna DCT loses a bit of time. It's a similar thing that we had seen even with Volkswagen's DLG boxes, where you had to literally fool the gearbox into a neutral and then quickly launch it with the gear selection. But that unfortunately doesn't work with the Verna. And that is where the manual, like old times, again takes precedence and it gives you better acceleration figure. And it's a significantly higher and a significantly quicker acceleration figure as well. And same with the fuel economy. So in sixth gear, the Verna actually manages to run at the 1.5 engine actually manages to run a little more relaxed than what the 1 liter does, which sort of brings me back to the comment that I'd made about the Verna 1.0 turbo when the car was launched, that they ought to have gone with the 1.4 instead. That was the same engine package that you get inside of the Seltos and the Creta. That should have been ideally chosen for the Verna, because at the end of the day, the Verna is still a slightly heavy car, and with a full house, the 1 liter turbo does suffer a little bit when it comes to the relaxed cruising that we're talking about. And that is where the 1.5 manual again outclasses it in terms of the fuel economy. Where the 1.0 is fun is the mid-range that it offers, the convenience of that DCT gearbox. All of that comes together quite nicely. But if you're only into figures, if you're only into outright acceleration and you want a slightly better fuel economy, it's the 1.5 manual for you.
Also, we've got another question over there, which is Sanjot's asking us about the Verna with improved handling, especially on corners. And Rohit, I believe you guys have heard you guys saying at least that definitely the handling is better than what it used to be previously. But compared to the Rapid, of course, it's still not there. Keep in mind the Rapid has got a very European feel to it. So the ride is a little more firmer, a little more precise, a little better than the Verna. The Verna, however, is still significantly better than what it used to be compared to the previous generation cars. So I think there are improvements in that area, isn't there, Rohit?
There certainly is, but again, remember that this Verna is a facelift given to the car that came out in 2017. So if you're comparing it to the 2017 model, no, there is not much of a change in the way it handles. Like I said in my review as well, these improvements came because of the Elantra platform that the new Verna borrowed. And it's certainly better than the previous Verna. There's better high-speed stability. There's better handling as well. And then the facelifted one that you just saw at the start of the show continues to do that. But if you were to compare it to something like the Rapid is still the better handler. Even in terms of the steering feel, the Rapid still has that old school steering feedback. It still feels more precise. So in terms of handling package, it's certainly not up there with the European cars, but it is a big improvement over the previous generation of the Verna. But 2017 onwards, there's not much of a change, including the facelift that we showed you right now.
But this one's for you. Pratik wants to know X6 versus the GLS. That's all he's written.
Sorry, can you come again? I was just reading another query by Shibin Ranjit. Why was my comment deleted? I don't know what it says further. But Shibin, if you can just post that comment again, we'll definitely try and respond to you as quickly as possible. Sorry, yeah. What were you saying, Sohini?
Pratik Bert has sent in a question saying the BMW
X7. Pratik, well, we haven't driven the GLS as of yet. We will be driving it pretty soon. I think another couple of weeks is when we should get our hands on the GLS. But then again, even the X7, we've not got our hands on the X7 because that is unfortunately unavailable. BMW does not have that SUV with them. We're trying very hard to get our hands on that SUV. But to put the two together, I mean, they come with very different, perspectives. The GLS is far better off-road than the X7. The X7, and keep in mind, most of BMW's SUVs are fantastic on-road vehicles, great dynamics. That kind of presence that they have on road, where dynamic ability is concerned, the performance is concerned, they're absolutely brilliant there. But GLS, Mercedes-Benz, has been adding a lot more to their SUVs than just the on-road ability. They've also been able to, give them the kind of off-road capability that you would want in an SUV, even at a very, at a very basic level for that matter. You don't want, Mercedes-Benz doesn't make, all of their SUVs great off-roaders in that sense. If you had to do that, you would have to go in for the G-Wagon. But where the GLS is concerned, still you will have significantly good off-road capabilities. Having said that, I just drove the GLE, and that review will be there online, and it's got the off-road package, and that was just awesome. I mean, the ground clearance raises by 30, 60, 90 mm, gives you almost 240 to 250 mm of ground clearance, and that's enormous for an SUV of that order. You can clamber up across almost everything. It's got a manual, mode where you can put it into a particular gear and make sure that the car uses only that gear if you're trying to hurdle an obstacle. So all of these things essentially entail that Mercedes-Benz is offering a slightly different perspective to their SUVs where BMW is concerned. So that's the case with the X7 versus the GLS as well.
All right, we'll just head on to other.
You can send a message. We've got. I see his message. I see his comment
Very
there. I was
good.
planning to buy the Baleno Zeta variant, but I found that Toyota Glanza is offering the features on the G variant with better pricing. Which one is the better deal? Well, Shubin, I think you already said it. Toyota Glanza is offering the features on the G variant with better pricing. That is your deal. Essentially, keep in mind they're both the same car, but you're getting it's a great car nonetheless, whether you buy it from Maruti or whether you buy it from Toyota. The Baleno is a fantastic product.
All right, I think we'll just hit a pause very quickly on the Q&A for now. Since we were talking about luxury brands, in fact, Audi India has opened bookings for the RS7 Sportback, the four-door coupe for an amount of 10 lakh rupees. Here's a quick video of what you have. Now, customers interested in the Audi can also view it online or contact their nearest dealership. They can also, Audi has recently introduced the AR visualizer, the augmented reality as well. So you can take a closer look at the RS7 Sportback. I'd really like to ask you, but Rohit, have you guys tried it out?
The RS7? Well, I haven't.
No, the augmented reality visualizer that Audi India has to offer.
Well, I did try it, but again, these are all very gimmicky, features or other concepts that manufacturers are trying out at this point in time. All of this came in during the lockdown, and it started off with several manufacturers offering this for a lot of their launches, pre-launches that they were doing, just to gain some amount of interest in the product. But as showrooms open up, as we get where markets are opening up even further, I think all of this will kind of disappear or fade into the background, and we physically would like to see the real car. Augmented reality is fantastic. AR, VR is fantastic. It opens up a whole bunch of possibilities in car sales, for that matter. But having said that, I mean, the experience of actually sitting in a car, feeling it, getting that sense of what it envelopes, touching and feeling something is a far more immersive experience than just being in that augmented reality world. I remember, in fact, I saw one VR presentation. We were on the top of a skyscraper somewhere, a showroom that was built on, I don't know, the 100th floor, 150th floor, and the view from the balconies were phenomenal, but it's not realistic. And that kind of, set the mood off. But it was a great video we saw, and fantastic presentation. The kind of information that we got also was brilliant. Manufacturers are able to put in a lot more information in this. Using a VR headset sometimes can be a little tricky and a little disorienting. Some people could also get a little nauseous with the way it works out, because you're constantly turning your head around in every direction. You don't know which way is forward. You're stepping forward, backward. What are you doing? But other than that, there is a lot of potential for VR and AR coming up in the future.
Ashish Agarwal wants to know, when are we going to review it personally?
Well, the RS7 again.
Rohit, we can't hear you.
Ashish, when are we going to review the RS7? I hope pretty soon. I do hope we get our hands on that car. That is going to be an absolute stonker. I'm really looking forward to driving that car. Keep in mind, I've had some very pleasant experiences with the RS bunch of cars. And I continue looking forward to driving them in the future as well. They're just sensational, let me tell you that. I had driven the RS5 several years ago. It was a very memorable drive experience, and I know some of the guys sitting at Audi will be chuckling about this. If they're listening on this, they'll be chuckling about that experience. But yeah, it was very memorable. That's not a memory that's going to fade anytime soon. But the car overall was just brilliant. And ever since then, I mean, the RS7s have a special place. The RS7, no, but the RS bunch of cars have got a special place in my heart, at least, because they kind of, with that quattro technology, all-wheel drive that they've got, the dynamics are just at another level entirely. But having said that, I mean, all of the performance brands that all of these German manufacturers have got, whether it's the M division, whether it's AMG, or whether it's the RS division for Audi, I mean, just phenomenal work that they're doing on their cars.
All right, Rohit, we'll just check your audio once. Can you
guys hear me? Am I
Yes,
we can hear you.
Yeah, we can.
Great.
We can hear you. You had something
That's why I was
to add?
saying I'm hoping that we test the RS7 very soon. We had a beautiful time with the previous RS7 performance, and the new one is not a performance variant, but it's still going to be quicker than the RS7 performance that came out earlier, which means that there will be a new RS7 performance sometime in the future. But 3.6 seconds 0 to 100 is something that I'm waiting to test. In fact, the previous RS7 performance was one of the quickest cars that we tested on the road. It did a 3.7 claimed, and it's a 3.7 tested as well for us. So yeah, it is one of the quickest cars, and that's something I hope to test with the new RS7 as well.
Yeah, 400 horsepower and higher. That's something worth experiencing in a sedan of that order. It's not something that you get.
In fact, a lot more than that. But 800 Newton meters of torque, 600 horsepower.
Yes.
So yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, the way it looks, it's just gorgeous. The new RS7 just looks gorgeous. But I think, yeah, if you ask us, we'll just keep going on and on about that.
It's amazing to see what manufacturers are pumping into their sedans these days. I mean, that is just these kind of powertrains, the kind of dynamic abilities, the kind of technology coming into these very sporty, extremely sporty sedans for that matter. I mean, it's just amazing. It's just fantastic. I am definitely looking forward to driving that car. Straight line and corners as well.
Okay, Chaitanya is very insistent that we answer his question about the Toyota Yaris. Is it the best car in the segment in terms of safety, as it offers 7 airbags and a lot of other safety features from its base model?
No, Chaitanya. I'll just quickly take that, Bert. Yes, 7 airbags. That is the best in class, but that doesn't necessarily make it the safest sedan in the category. Like I said, I can't say much about the Honda City. The review will be out on the 30th, but hopefully that answers your question.
Right. So we'll just quickly move on from the questions now. But I'll let you talk about the 4th generation of the Kia Carnival. It has just been teased. So I'll let you take us through that.
So we've seen the rushes. There you go. Pretty amazing looking car.
Yeah, but you can go ahead.
It is a pretty amazing looking car, that 4th generation Kia, especially that front, all the light work out there is just amazing. The kind of LED displays that it's got, even that grille, absolutely phenomenal. Quite a good looking car. And I still believe it will continue to provide the same set of, not same, but of course, newer generation of features, luxury, refinement, and space on the inside. Visually, a lot of it has changed. Dynamically, also several changes. At that rear end, if you look at it carefully, you've got it's a very European kind of look that it's got, especially that C-pillar onwards. It almost reminds me of what the Range Rover Velar looks like. It's got some cues from Range Rover designs in there, very, very similar. Even that kind of clamshell roof that it's got, very similar to what Range Rover offers on its SUVs. But it's interesting to see those design cues coming in. Makes it far more stylish. It enhances its appeal, makes it a more global product in that sense. And I mean, if this is the shape of MPVs to come in the future, why not bring it on?
All right. There's, in fact, news coming in from the Seltos as well. Kia's Seltos. There's an EV which is expected this year as well. So this is what this is the representation. Basically, this is not the car, but it will launch in the Chinese market by the end of this year. It could come with the same electric motor that is seen in the Hyundai Kona EV. We expect that the EV will wear a slightly different face and be priced at a slight premium too compared to the Kona EV. What are your thoughts on this as well?
It's very interesting to see what this product is like because with that EV powertrain, Kia will have definitely a more affordable product than where the Kona, for instance, Hyundai stands at this point in time. Still, you've got the kind of space that you would want in a proper SUV, the kind of appeal that the Seltos brings masses. So all of that, retaining all of that and still having that EV powertrain would be a fantastic idea. Having said that, would something of this sort make its debut in India anytime soon? I'm not sure. I think we will see some delays in a lot of EV programs. Again, infrastructure development is going to take some time. Again, with all of this pandemic that's happened, with all of the issues, the economy as well tanking, there's going to be some delays in the future. So I think a lot of EV plans will get pushed back or entirely made redundant. And I do not know what's going to happen to the EV industry in the near future in India. Having said that, globally, yes, there's definitely going to be some amount of traction in the EV space. Keep in mind, a lot of global markets, also certain countries that were pretty strong on EVs, have also rolled back their plans and trying to get their houses in order before they can actually go down that EV path in a much stronger way.
All right. We have a question coming in from Ashish Agarwal. He says that the Kia seems to have launched the older version in India. Did they want to clear their stocks? Initial buyers must be disappointed.
Well, Kia didn't want to. Kia didn't launch an older version. This is the most contemporary version of the Carnival that is there in India. So they're not trying to clear stock or anything of that sort. This is as modern as you can get it. However, no manufacturer will stop plans. It applies to. Keep in mind the GLE, for instance. The GLE was first introduced in 2000, was showcased I think in 2017. 2018 made its European debut. 2019 came down to India, and 2020 here we are driving it and testing it. These plans do take time, and products especially take time to reach global markets and everywhere. So no, it's not an older version. It just keep in mind Kia launched in India 2 years ago, and first product was Seltos, the product that first came to India and then went around stock. Initial buyers should not be disappointed. They've got a world-class product which is as contemporary as it can be anywhere else in the world.
Okay,
in fact, also keep in mind that when a car like the Carnival, for example, comes to a market like India during the end of its life cycle, that also allows the car maker to price it more attractively, and that's exactly what Kia has done with the Carnival. Maybe the new one may not come at the same price. It could be significantly more expensive than what the current buyers have bought the Carnival at. And hopefully when they listen to the price tag of the new one, they will then feel good about their purchase. Like Bert said, it's not really a product that's too old or doesn't have the latest features. It has everything to excite the buyer. Of course, the new one will be a step forward, but it will also come at a price that matches that new step.
Here's a question though we can take from Stay Blessed, interesting name. City versus maybe not the city. We can talk about the Ciaz versus the Verna.
End of its life cycle, that also allows the car maker to price it more attractively, and that's exactly what Kia has done with the car.
Stay Blessed, interesting name.
Sorry, I was just trying to respond to a question on Facebook. Sohini, sorry, go ahead. You were asking a question.
Yeah, I was just saying that Stay Blessed has asked us about the Ciaz versus the Verna. Of course, we can't talk about the city, but Rohit, would you like to answer that?
I think in terms of the features, the Verna is still way ahead of what the Ciaz has to offer. But yes, the Ciaz itself is a very nice car. It has some of the really good driving dynamics, the kind of space that it offers. So let me put it the other way around. If you're going to be driven around, the Ciaz would make more sense than the Verna. But if you're going to be driving yourself, and if you need all those features, the Verna could be a better choice.
All right, but any news about the Tata HPX? Siddesh would like to know.
Well, there's still some time for that. We consistently get reminders from Tata Motors about something or the other happening at that end. And I think it could either be the Altroz EV or it could be the HPX. We haven't got confirmation on that. But all of these are just around the corner. I think we should have some news for you in a few more weeks. I think 2 to 3 weeks, we should have some confirmation as to what exactly is happening at Tata Motors.
But Sanjot, in fact, has a question for you. He said that he's read your article on the BMW 2 Series Grand Coupe. How good is it compared to the Merc CLA or the Audi A3?
A little short on space in that sense. It's not a very spacious car, but then none of the cars in this segment are very spacious, especially for the rear seat passengers. But I definitely like the way it's been packaged. It looks fantastic. It's a nice compact sedan, so it looks fantastic. It's got a great drivetrain. It's also great dynamics for that matter. How would it compare to the CLA? Definitely better dynamics than the CLA. This is also a newer generation of engines that the 2 Series has got. So I can't really tell you what it would be like compared to this. It's definitely better than the existing CLA. But keep in mind there is a new CLA headed our way as well. What about the Audi A3? Again, Audi A3 also great dynamics, but the kind of the 2 Series, especially with that front wheel drive powertrain. I mean, it's very interesting to see the kind of dynamics that car has got. However, the most fun to drive in that 2 Series range, of course, is the M Series, the M badged car again. So that is the one to watch out for. I'm hoping BMW, if they ever get the 2 Series out to India, they will get the M badged version as well. They haven't done it in the past too aggressively, but I'm hoping in the future they do.
All right, Rohit, this one's for you. The Satisfier wants to know Hayabusa or the ZX10R.
Well, I'm not sure if you'll be able to buy a brand new Hayabusa anymore because whatever stock they had, they are completely sold out, and we don't know if there would be a BS6 tune Busa that would be ready for the Indian market. But if you're looking at the used market, well, I personally would buy the Busa over the ZX10R. That's because I have an emotional connect with that motorcycle. But if you're looking at a track tool, something that you're probably going to go to the racetrack, the ZX10R is obviously the better choice.
All right, and Bert, this one's for you. Akshay would like to know the Jeep Compass or the Tata Harrier diesel. Which one would be your pick?
Well, Jeep Compass, again, the Harrier is a great looking car, lots of space inside that, enormous amounts of space inside that Harrier. And if you're not looking for a large family mover, where you need to put in more than 4 people, then definitely the Compass is where it's at. Great, good drivetrains, but good dynamics as well. And some of them, of course, the Jeep Compass has got a slightly better off-road ability than the Harrier for that matter. So I would recommend the Jeep Compass.
All right, Rahul too has a question regarding a Hyundai.
You can also read our mega comparison story for that matter, the mega SUV comparison that we did last year. It's got all the details, and the Compass and the Harrier are part of that story as well. So you'll know a lot more about both of these SUVs and how they stand vis-a-vis the other SUVs, various other SUVs from various other segments as well.
All right, Rahul also, Rahul Malhotra would want to know that his monthly running is around 1200 kilometers. Should he go for the Creta diesel, e-diesel or the EX petrol? He's saying the price is the same and he can get EX features by spending approximately 40 to 50,000 in the aftermarket. What?
So I go for e-diesel, just hang on. EX petrol, the price is same and I can get EX features by spending approximately 40 to 50,000. I would suggest you go in for the petrol at this point in time. And essentially because of because of the way the pricing is being structured at this point in time. Also, your monthly running is about 1200 kilometers, which is not a lot for you to go in for a diesel. I would recommend staying with the petrol. That would make more economical sense as well in the long run. Unless you're out on the highways, you're doing long distance driving regularly for that matter, where a diesel with effectively the drivability that the diesel will offer you will be so much better. Otherwise, if you're largely an urban driver, then the petrol is where it's at.
Okay, Rushabh has sent us a question in 3 parts. He says, Brezza ya Creta, 3,000 kilometers running monthly.
Well, Creta, because again, you're talking about 2 different segments of vehicle. The Brezza is a compact SUV. The Creta is a mid-size SUV. A lot more space inside the Creta. The Brezza, of course, only diesel at this point in time. So now, of course, the changes are coming up there. But the Creta, of course, gives you a lot more in terms of refinement, comfort, performance. It doesn't matter 3,000 kilometers running for you. The diesel would be ideal in this segment, and it's a great Hyundai diesel. The CRDIs are fantastic for that matter. So I think my recommendation would be with the Creta.
And Rohit, can we expect the Jeep Renegade anytime soon? Siddesh is asking.
No, not the current model at least. It has been spied on test in India quite a few times, and that's because they are still sort of finalizing what components will make it to India, testing local components and all of that. But in its current shape and size and form, they are not looking at it because that car is at the end of its life cycle. The next generation of the Renegade is what is going to come to India, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime before 2022. That is a safe bet. 2022 is when it's going to come. That will be the next generation Renegade.
All right, we'll quickly hit a pause and run through the other news as well. Maruti Suzuki has just launched the S-Presso in the CNG variant. It has been priced at 4.84 lakh rupees. Car is offered in 4 variants and is powered by the 1-liter engine that delivers a mileage of 31.2 km per kg and has a tank capacity of 55 liters. Now, moving on, there's some sad news for two-wheeler enthusiasts. Rohit, I'll let you take on.
Yeah, so Intermot has been cancelled. That is something that we were expecting to happen given the current situation. There is going to be no large gatherings, so motor shows of any kind are going to be a big no-no, at least till a vaccine comes out. And the Intermot has confirmed that the show will not happen, and I'm expecting the same is going to happen with EICMA as well.
All right.
Sohini, back to you.
All right. There's news about the Honda Grazia as well. The BS6 variant has been launched in India at 73,000 ex-showroom. Yes, Rohit, you'd like to go ahead with that?
In fact, Honda has started introducing all the BS6 variants for their lineup. So the Levo has been teased, the Grazia was teased last week, and now it has been launched. So every motorcycle or every scooter in their lineup is now going through with that BS6 conversion, and that is what we're going to expect. So expect a little bit of price increase on each and every model as a BS6 range is introduced into the market.
All right. These are the only images that we have of the Levo, in fact. There's not much that they have revealed.
I'm a little lost with the number of questions that are turning up and pretty rapidly also for that matter. It's fantastic seeing this kind of response and the number of questions that are coming up, and it's getting harder and harder to reply and respond to all of them. But, there's one, Rushav's been asking best SUV up to 25 lakh rupees. I think the Creta would, I think Rohit would agree with me at this point in time. The Creta and the Seltos are two of the better choices in this segment that are there. We like the Seltos, our last comparison test. The Seltos won that comparison test. And definitely better looking for that matter. So I think that's one of the better choices in this segment, going up to about the 25 lakh rupees bracket. But also keep in mind now the Volkswagen T-Roc and the Skoda Karoq come into this segment as well. And the Karoq is a fantastic product also. However, we're just waiting for this entire lockdown to clear out so that we can get our hands on the Karoq and the T-Roc, of course, to get you those stories. Those cars are still in the process of being registered and legally cleared, of course, of all roadblocks, so that they can be put back on the roads and given to us. And we're just waiting for that. So we will have news for you on this pretty soon, Rusha.
Also, Anjane would like to know that the Seltos GTX Plus Turbo Petrol or the Jeep Compass Limited Plus, he has a 1500 kilometer running monthly, both in the city as well as the highway. What?
Yeah, well, 1500 kilometers, I would recommend the Seltos over here simply because, again, the pricing, of course, for the Jeep Compass Limited goes in much higher. The GTX Plus Turbo Petrol for the Seltos would be a lot more affordable, and that's what you should be looking at. It's a more affordable package overall. So that's where it is at. But if you're looking for a better go anywhere ability, if your driving is also going to be outdoors, and in slightly rougher conditions, then the Jeep Compass is what I would recommend you go on. Your mileage, again, 1500 kilometers is not a lot for that matter. Still, it gets closer into that high mileage, highly run vehicle. But for now, the Seltos GTX should do wonders for you.
All right, Rohit, there's a question for you. Aniket would want to know Royal Enfield Meteor 350. Have you heard anything about it?
Yes, we have been hearing a lot of things about it, in fact, and it's going to be replacing the Thunderbird 350X. It's a slightly different tune for the engine, BS6 engine, of course. There is a new chassis. There will be a few new features as well, new color options. It was supposed to come out by the end of June, but I think all those plans have been slightly delayed. So I don't think it's a long delay, though. So hopefully, somewhere in the mid of July is when the bike should start reaching dealerships, and that is when we should hear about it.
All right, but Jignesh wants to know the Altroz or the Maruti Suzuki Baleno.
I'd recommend Maruti Baleno over the Altroz XZ, Jignesh, at this point in time. Much better car. You want slightly better service, a little more reliable service than the Glanza is what you should be looking at. Again, Toyota's commitment to service, aftermarket service, Sedan service is one of the best in the country today. So I think that is what you should look at ideally. But otherwise, between the Altroz or the Maruti Baleno, I would recommend the Maruti Baleno.
Suresh has a very generic question. Why are all car manufacturers suppressing ground clearance in their respective specification brochures?
That's interesting, Suresh, because we've consistently been asking manufacturers to provide us with ground clearance figures, and not everybody does that at this point in time. And this is very crucial going ahead. I mean, I've seen this day in, day out. There are several speed breakers that I cross on the way to my house or to my place of work, and there are some sedans that scrape their underbelly on those speed breakers. And if I was a consumer and I had to make a decision, I would also consider that one element before making a buying decision. But yes, we keep insisting on manufacturers providing us this data. However, not a lot of them are very forthcoming, and we continue to push them to give us this data. So we'll keep an eye out on our specification sheets on overdrive.in. We try and get you all of the ground clearance data also on over there. So any information that you would need specifically, also do send us an email or just put a post out on Twitter or on Facebook, and we will respond to that and get you those figures.
Okay, I can hear Tech Arena literally screaming at us. So many questions. Same question, actually. Seltos or Hector or Creta?
Let's see, Rohit, what's our opinion?
Let's put it this way. We have reviewed the Hector versus the Seltos in the past. The Seltos was the winner, and then we recently reviewed the Seltos versus the new Creta. That story is out in the magazine. It's out on YouTube. It was published this morning, and it's also out on the Overdrive website. So between the Hector and the Seltos or Creta, now the Creta and the Seltos are slightly smaller on the size. So if you need that extra space in the second row, or with the Hector Plus now in the third row as well, if you need that extra space, the Hector is definitely the car that you want to go for. But for everything else, features included, it is either the Seltos or the Creta that you would want to go with. Now, which one of these two? Take a look at the review that we've just posted, and hopefully that should help you make a more informed buying decision.
Okay, I'd like to tell our viewers that we have some very interesting interviews lined up for the Overdrive show tomorrow, which is at 1 p.m. on CNBC TV 18. In fact, Rohit earlier this week interacted with Jaguar's design director, Julian Thompson, who has pretty large shoes to fill as design director of Jaguar. So you can catch that interview on CNBC TV 18 at 1 p.m. There's also some interesting news. Total Wax, which is a car care brand which most of the people are familiar with in our market. It's an American car care brand, has come into India as well. But I'm sure you have something to add about
here in India now. Total Wax has had a lot of its products available in the Indian market for almost a decade, if not longer. But yeah, now they're officially here, official capacity for that matter, putting in investments in this market, and of course getting their products out, which will be available at various dealerships also, as well as aftermarket stores that are there all spread across the country. So yeah, going for those. If you're the kind that loves to take additional care of your car, then sure thing, go ahead. Total Wax is definitely one of the best in the business.
In fact, we have a short clip from the interview from earlier this week that Rohit conducted as well. That is another interview that you can catch on the Overdrive show tomorrow.
Car enthusiast in India has been using Turtle Wax for a very long amount of time. But the route to market, they were getting these products either through an importer who imports many of these products from different parts of the world, or a couple of years back, or about 5-10 years back, there were distributors who were also importing Turtle Wax for India, national distributors. That was there for a couple of years. So this is actually technically Turtleback's first legal entry to the country by forming its own subsidiary. We will definitely be actively present in our DIY category with all the products which are there for car care, which is basically the shampoos and washers and the waxes and all the protective products, which basically takes care of the different issues a car owner faces from a DIY perspective. So we'll be present in all three. And we'll also be present in the DIFM category in terms of professional coatings, professional wash and valet products, and all of those requirements, which is basically for the professional category. We'll have the top 4 cities, the metro cities, to lead the whole program, followed by cities like Ahmedabad and Pune. So Delhi, Bombay, Pune, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Chennai, and Kolkata. So these would be our top 8 cities we would start entering with our branded retail concept.
Okay.
And then see how this whole thing pans up over a period of a couple of years.
Right. So that's a glimpse of the interview, and you can catch the entire interview on CNBC TV 18 tomorrow at 1 p.m. You can also catch the repeat on Sunday at 12:30 or 8 p.m. We have time for a couple of more questions, I guess.
I want to take this question,
Rahul.
Before we come to that, Sohini, I saw this very interesting question. Rahul Srinivasan asked for a question asking, electric car at this time, is it worth putting money now on this technology? Please throw some light, Bert. Rahul, yes, it's definitely, there is no time like the present to put, to invest in an electric vehicle because it's crucial for EV technology to grow, that consumers flock to this technology, understand what it's all about, and of course grow from there, buying new products in the EV space. I do hope that the EV market in India increases rapidly. There aren't too many choices. There are a few right now. Of course, at the lower end, there is the Nexon EV, which is a fantastic product, and going all the way up to the Hyundai the Kona, which is at a more expensive price point. But nonetheless, EVs, this is definitely the time. You can, if you're an urban, you're commuting around in urban areas alone and not heading out on the highways distances longer than about, let's say, 300 kilometers a round trip. This is the time to invest in an EV and enjoy what an EV brings. Keep in mind, the EV, all EVs for that matter, have the one greatest luxury that most car owners would love and appreciate, which is silence. There is no noise from a powertrain. So that's definitely one of the big sellers for an EV. Then also there's the eco footprint that it has. You're not consuming fossil fuels. There's nothing that cannot be recycled. So there are lots of benefits to owning and promoting an EV in the country at this point in time. And maybe you're one of those shining lights that can take the EV philosophy forward as well, Rahul.
All right. Rohit, Sanket wants to know, when are automatic bikes coming to India, the DCT technology?
Well, Honda has already got the Africa Twin to India in the DCT form. The new one that was recently launched is also available with the DCT. If you're talking about smaller capacity motorcycles from Honda with the DCT, well, we don't know about that so far, because now Honda's concentration in the big bike or the premium bike space is on a new 500cc parallel twin platform that we talked about in the last episode. And that doesn't come with DCT. So no. So it's either the scooters from various manufacturers or it's the Africa Twin. You have to make a choice accordingly.
But Sundar Bala is asking...
Before Sundar Bala, I think Akash Chauhan has been quite insistent. He's posted this question twice or thrice. Is the Harrier worth buying? Yes, it's definitely worth buying. It's got great space. It's got great ride quality. It looks good. And you've got a good network for Tata Motors in India. So I think, yes, it's definitely worth buying. It's got all the attributes that you would want to use it as a family vehicle for that matter. So go ahead, enjoy that vehicle. I think you would like that experience. Don't use it from an enthusiast perspective in terms of pushing it too hard or trying to do things that an SUV of that order is not meant to do. But enjoy it for the ground clearance that it has to offer, the ride comfort it has to offer, and the space. And the Harrier is a good product to have otherwise. We'll take a question from Sundar Bala. One question I need an answer. Creta EX petrol is worth, or when your top model is worth. Sundar, you're answering your own question over here. I need a big bulky SUV and a good road presence. And the Creta is the one that has it. So there you go. The Creta EX petrol is what you should be looking at.
All right. Aniket has jumped to next year already. He's saying best compact SUV to buy next year. His budget is around 12 to 13 lakhs. And main priority is safety and space. Rohit, would you like to take that?
You drive it in the city and highways. I mean, yes. So you're obviously not looking at an off-road SUV for that matter. You're looking at a very urban.
Looking at a soft roader.
Yeah, soft roader for that matter. There will be several other options. I think you just wait out, bide our time. Let's see what else comes up in the market. Keep in mind, just around the corner, there is also the new Sonet coming out from Kia. We've seen it at Auto Expo, but we'd really like to see how it looks in the flesh, a production version of it for that matter, and try and get an understanding what the interiors are like as well. At the top end, that car should retail just under 13 lakh rupees. That will be the 1 liter turbo petrol engine with the dual clutch transmission possibly in there as well. I don't know what all Kia is going to offer in that vehicle, but gauging from what and the way they've presented the Seltos to us, there will definitely be a lot of variants and a lot of features to look forward to in the Sonet. So let's just hold on for a little longer. I think in a month or so, 2 months. And since you're looking for a car for next year, for a vehicle next year, well, I think the Sonet should make a good choice.
All right. I think that's about all the questions that we can take on this week's show. But before...
There are 2 more questions, so that we'll take very quickly. There is one...
all right.
We're running out of time, I know. Desire 2013 odometer 78,000 and last year brought XUV. Now planning to sell the Desire. Should I sell it or keep it for local running? At this point in time, Ashish Agarwal, very important. Just keep your vehicle with the way the economy is going. I mean, you can get great resale value for your Desire at this point in time, but I'd also recommend you to, rather than going in for replacement buying at this point in time. So do hold on to that. The only reason to sell it is very less than the Desire. I'm demanding 3.8 lakhs is the right price to ask or not. Ashish, I don't know from which area region you come in from, but prices will vary region to region and the condition of the vehicle that it exists in. 3.8 lakhs is the right price to ask or not. I couldn't really comment on that whether it's the right price or not. But for a 2013 vehicle, that definitely looks like a little on the higher side.
All right. Now, before we head out, we have a very interesting video from Lamborghini, the limited edition hypercar, the SCV12. Rohit, I see you're grinning because you've been pretty excited. You've already put up that video on our Instagram account as well.
Yes, I have. I mean, 830 horses, rear-wheel drive only, track only. Who is not going to be excited about a car like that? That would be perfect because if we were to hopefully drive it, it would be only at the racetrack and then try and exploit all of those 830 horses, which is definitely beyond my capability, but no harm in trying, especially with a car that sounds like that. I think we should all take a look and listen.
If that drive happens, I call dibs. I've said it.
As the editor, I think you
pulling
can.
rank, yes, but pulling rank, I know.
You lost your opportunity there. Let's not get in the rank and file. But I called it.
Okay, I think
we've got witnesses over here as well. This is how we select people going out on drives. We call dibs.
I think that's a great visual. We'll leave our viewers with. We'll catch up with you next week, same time.
Sorry to interrupt. I think there's one question that Rohit can definitely answer over here. Nitin Joshua has asked if the 1.5 liter turbo comes to Honda Civic, considering the 1.5 liter naturally aspirated engine with DOHC is present in the new City.
No, in fact, Honda has opened bookings for the BS6 Civic, and they've confirmed that it's the same engines that will be carried over from before. There'll be no new engine options. They've both been made BS6 compliant, and that is what they're going to go with. So no, that 1.5 turbo may not happen for India. And someone also asked about the petrol coming with a manual transmission in the Civic. Again, Honda has already said that there are no takers for a petrol manual in that space, and so they will not look at a petrol manual with the new Civic.
All right, so let's just leave our viewers with this great video and we'll catch up with them next week.
Thank you everyone for watching.